Hello and welcome to another edition of Overtime on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell on the Anthony Kennedy Hardaway Hall of Fame on the University of Memphis campus. What a weekend for Tiger athletics, with all of its team sports going undefeated as both baseball and softball swept through Conference USA over the weekend, and men's and women's tennis knocking off three nationally ranked opponents in Louisville, VCU, and Notre Dame. We'll take you through everything right here, so let's get started. Starting with baseball over at FedEx Park, the Tigers swept UCF over the weekend, and that moved their win streak to 4 games. In Game 1, Memphis came out on top of a hard-fought pitcher's duel, with Sam Ball striking out 11 and Heath Hatfield sitting down all 6 batters he faced to lead the Tigers to the 2-1 win. UCF took an early lead in the second thanks to an RBI double, but Memphis rallied for 2 runs in the third to grab the 2-1 lead thanks to back-to-back singles by Carter White and Drew Griffin. Sacrifice bunt from Ford Wilson advanced the runners to second and third. A wild pitch allowed Carter White to score, and then a walk to Ethan Gross put runners at the corners with 1 out before a second wild pitch in the inning matched that total, scoring Griffin from third and giving Memphis the 2-1 lead that would stick. Then in Game 2 of the series, Memphis went down 2-0 early again before stringing together a 2-run rally in the second, thanks to a pair of hits and a walk to load the bases before a UCF error and a sac fly tied the game up at 2. Tigers then took the lead in the next inning after a leadoff triple from Colton Simbeck got things started. Zach Willis drove him in with a single to left center. Memphis added 2 insurance runs in the 7th inning, and Clayton Gann and Jonathan Van Eaton shut down the Knights over the final 2 innings to clinch the series for Memphis. The Tigers started Game 3 in familiar territory, going down 4-1 before a big 5-run, 2-out rally in the 5th inning off of 5 Tiger hits. UCF responded with a run in the 7th inning, and Memphis added 1 run in the bottom half of the inning before the Knights would tie it up with 2 runs in the 8th. But Zach Willis delivered the clutch RBI double in the bottom half of the 8th to give Memphis the 8-7 win. The win gave Memphis their first sweep over a Conference USA opponent this season. The Tigers begin a 2-game homestand with the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff tonight at FedEx Park before heading to Birmingham on Friday for a 3-game series with UAB. And just a scheduling note, the earlier game at AutoZone Park with Ole Miss has now been rescheduled. It will be Monday night at AutoZone Park at 6:30, first pitch with the Rebels. The softball team combined for 35 runs in 3 games en route to a series sweep over Southern Miss over the weekend in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In Game 1 of the Saturday doubleheader, the Tiger offense came alive and put together 18 hits on their way to a 10-3 win. The 18 hits are a season best and tied for 4th most in school history, and the last time the Tigers recorded 18 hits came in a 13-inning win against the Golden Eagles in Memphis last year. The 10 runs were also a program high against Southern Miss and snapped a 9-game conference losing streak. Then in Game 2, Memphis continued its offensive outbreak, beating Southern Miss 19-1 in 5 innings to sweep the doubleheader. The 19 runs ties a Conference USA record for most runs at a conference game, matching UAB's total runs against Charlotte April 24th of 2005. The mark ties for 2nd in school history and is the highest run total for Memphis since its inaugural season in 2006. It also matches the highest run total allowed in Southern Miss school history. Memphis also tied a school record with 7 stolen bases, led by senior outfielder Leilani Bernardino, who had 2. On Sunday, the Tigers scored 4 runs in the 7th and survived a late Southern Miss comeback for the 6-5 win to earn the series sweep. The Tigers earned just its 2nd 3-game sweep over Southern Miss and 2nd straight in Hattiesburg at the Southern Miss softball complex. Memphis has won 9 of the last 10 games in the series and holds an all-time 14-9 advantage. Memphis now travels to Louisiana Monroe for a single midweek game on Wednesday at 5 o'clock to conclude an 11-game road swing. Tigers will then open a 4-game homestand beginning with a 3-game series with UCF Saturday and Sunday at the Tigers softball complex. We now move on to men's tennis, and the men's tennis team, as we told you earlier, a big weekend. The University of Memphis tennis team swept number 50 Louisville 4-0 in a non-conference match in a neutral site on Saturday. Tigers jumped up top with wins at number 1 in 3 doubles. Glennon and Vernac then added to the Tigers' tally with singles victories. Glennon won at the number 1 singles match 6-4, 6-2, while Vernac won his match at number 3 6-3, 6-2. David O'Leary added to the singles total to close out the match 7-5, 6-1 at number 5 singles. Both Glennon and O'Leary wins were over ranked opponents. Also, David O'Leary came back from his first set loss to win a tiebreaker in the second and a 6-3 third set to secure a 4-3 Memphis victory at number 24 VCU on Sunday. The Tigers jumped up 1-0 with wins at number 1 in 3 doubles. Tigers freshman Lucas Verdak also won with a 7-6, 6-3 win at the number 3 singles. It all came down to the number 5 singles match where David O'Leary and BCU's Jamie Vasquez split the first 2 sets. Vasquez jumped out to a quick 6-2 first set win, but O'Leary battled back, then had to fight through a 7-6 second set tiebreaker to even the match. O'Leary then held on to the momentum, going up 4-1 quickly in his match and held on for the 6-3 third set win that secured the Tigers' win over BCU. With 11 straight matches played away from home, the Tigers return to the friendly confines of the Racquet Club of Memphis for 2 more regular season matches. Memphis hosts CUSA foe UAB Friday at 2 o'clock, then hosts South Alabama Sunday afternoon at noon in their regular season finale. Moving along to women's tennis, and they had a nice weekend as well as the 36th ranked Memphis Lady Tigers tennis team took down their second top 25 team of the season Sunday afternoon with a 4-3 win on the road over number 21 Notre Dame. It's the highest ranked opponent on the road that Memphis has beaten in program history. The Lady Tigers picked up the doubles point as Tiffany Welcher and Alyssa Hibbard defeated number 52 Julie Sabinski and Brittany Sanders 8-5 at number 2 before number 64 Stephanie McKesh and Caroline Wegner outlasted Quinn Gleason and Julie Bragel by 7 to win the number 3 point at that point. Memphis increased its lead to 3-0 as Wegner picked up a 6-1, 6-4 win at number 6 over Catherine White, while Welcher won 6-3, 6-1 over Quinn Gleason at number 2. Notre Dame would tie it up at 3-all with wins at number 1, 3, and 4 to make the match come down to court 5 between Hibbard and Molly Okanowski. Court 5 was an intense battle as Hibbard won the first set 7-6 before Okanowski would answer with a 7-6 second set win. With the score tied at 3 in the final set, Hibbard opened up a 5-3 lead, but they countered Okanowski did to cut it to 5-4. However, Hibbard would get the final game to clinch the victory for Memphis with a 6-4 third set victory. Lady Tigers will look to avenge a 4-3 loss from earlier this season to conference rival Tulsa on Sunday at noon when Memphis faces the Golden Hurricane in Oklahoma. Well, the Memphis Tiger football team was back at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium Saturday afternoon for the annual Blue-Gray Spring Game. Fans had the opportunity to come out and enjoy pregame festivities, including tailgating, games, and live music before game time when they got to look at the Tiger personnel and see the strides the team has made from this time a year ago. The game featured 16 offensive series, which all began at the 35-yard line on the long side of the field. The offense moved the ball inside the defense's 25-yard line on 4 occasions, but never scored. The Tiger defense forced the offense off the field on downs of the 16 and 24-yard lines early in the game, while Reggie Ball's interception of a Paxton Lynch pass at the 5-yard line was returned 25 yards on the final play from scrimmage. Tiger defense also stopped the offense on 4th and 1 at the 23 during the game. In addition to plays from scrimmage, Memphis also used the game as an opportunity to work on special teams work with plays from the punting and field goal units. Tigers will wrap up their final spring practice tonight at the Billy J. Murphy Athletic Complex. On to track and field as the men's and women's track and field teams were back in action this weekend at the Auburn Tiger Classic in Alabama, bringing home several top 10 finishes and recording 2 new program records. On the women's side, Kayla Funderburk, Monica Mason, Keona Neal, and Maya Williamson broke their own program record in the women's 4x400 relay with a time of 3:35.54 for a second place finish. Funderburk then set a second program record in the women's 400 meter, clocking in at 52.92, breaking her own record of 53.76 set during the 2012 outdoor season, currently ranking her 3rd in the NCAA East performance standings. 3 Tigers then took top 10 spots in the women's 800. Andia Taylor, Lisa Lingley, Jenny Johnson placed 7th, 8th, and 9th. Then in women's pole vault, Memphis scored a pair of top 10 finishes with Sabrina Holkruther and Carolina Carmichael placing 7th and 10th. Men's team also had a solid showing in Auburn with Giorgio Linwood leading the way, racking up a podium finish, taking 2nd in the high jump with a leap of 2.15 meters. Louise Hansler took 9th in the men's long jump with a personal best of 7.03. Moving on to the throwing events, Yannick Shaley and Andrew Miller took 6th and 12th respectively. Miller then placed 8th in the men's discus with a mark of 48.18. In the men's hammer open, Tom Wilcox took 7th with a mark of 48.91. And the Tigers dominated the javelin as Hansler took 6th on the men's javelin open at a distance of 50.34, while Kyle Bynum took 3rd of the men's javelin invitational with a throw of 63.75. Also, teammate Thomas Poole took 9th at 56.74. Both men's and women's track and field teams return to action Saturday when they head to Oxford, Mississippi for the Ole Miss Invitational. Women's golf team was in Oxford, Mississippi this past weekend for the Rebel Intercollegiate and had to fight through blistering winds on Saturday. Two Lady Tigers golfers posted their best rounds of the tournament, and a third tied her best round of the final round of the M&F Bank Rebel Intercollegiate on Sunday. Sarah Matthews and Alex Lang both posted the best rounds of the tournament in the final round, while Ashley Winsinen tied her best round score from Friday. But with 11 strokes separating the Tigers and 16th place to the Miss, the team finished the tournament in 17th place with a team score of 941 for the 3-round tournament. Well, we move back to men's tennis after the big weekend after knocking off ranked opponents, and we sat down with Tiger tennis player David O'Hare in the lounge at the Racket Club of Memphis for the newest edition of Tiger Talk. Let's take a look. Hello and welcome to Tiger Talk on Overtime. I'm Jeff Brightwell, and this week's guest is David O'Hare with the men's tennis program at the University of Memphis, and we're here at the new digs. I guess it's really not new anymore here at the Racket Club, but it's a great facility. It's a place that you guys have called home. Talk about it so far. Your junior year here at the University of Memphis and coming off an NCAA appearance last year. It's got to be a great time to be a Tiger.
Certainly is, yeah. You know, we've been blessed. This is my 3rd season here now, obviously, and this is 3rd season here based at the Racket Club. They've been great to us. You know, the facility's in top shape. You know, our lovely lounge area is looking great, and always developing. You know, always improving. Now they're just doing new stuff to the stadium. Resurface the course every year, of course, for the Memphis ATP tournament. And they're getting an indoor track, and they're revamping the new gym. So we're excited to see the changes there too, and hopefully program can keep growing along with the two.
I talked to Paul Goldwell. He's pretty confident about this program again, this particular team with a chance to make another run at the NCAA. What are your expectations?
Oh, definitely. You know, and not even this year, but next year again, with no seniors on the team, we're really going to have an experienced team next year. We kind of really looking forward to hosting conference. You get a good momentum, you know, lift the first Conference USA Championships, and then leading into NCAAs are going to be brimming with confidence, and who knows what kind of. Last year we got a little unfortunate facing Baylor. We thought we were going to be a 2 seed, instead we were 3, which just the way it worked out, like the NCAA do it. So hopefully this year we might get a little nicer draw, you know, win on the first day and then go in against, you know, one of the big teams, the top 16 teams. Should be fantastic.
You just mentioned no seniors on the team. How important is that now going forward to next year, because you're going to have a core group that's been together for 3 or 4 years at a time?
Yeah, we had a big freshman class when I came in, all right. We had myself, Joe, Johnny, Cedric, and then Dave O'Leary. So we will be losing a good key bulk of players, but we coaches always, you know, they did a great job in getting in Lucas in this year. He's probably been the highest recruit that Memphis has ever got. So, you know, I'm pretty confident that they're going to continue the good work that they've done and drawing in the good players. Last year,
first team all-conference doubles with Joe Salisbury. You've mentioned him a couple times.
Yeah.
They kind of split you up a little bit to start the season, but you guys have been reunited and back to your usual winning ways. Talk about playing with Joe. Talk about your relationship with Joe, because that's got to be a key component of playing doubles, is to get along on and off the court.
Of course, yeah. You know, I roomed with him since freshman year. You know, and then I moved out of the fall of freshman year. I moved out to a house with him, so I've been really tied off the on and off the court. So, and then when we split up, we obviously had great wins. You know, a really good winning record for Memphis, and we split up just to try and change up the teams. You know, because we kind of struggling with the 2 and 3 doubles team for this year, but Ced and Glendon really played unbelievable together. They started playing 1 this year, and since Joe and I came back together now, we've kind of since taken them over, only just recently, but we're really looking good now for you know, for doubles in the future as well, with new guys coming in.
Was it pretty easy to pick back up once you guys got back together?
Yeah, it was good to be home, as they say. You know, it was good to be back in court with them for sure.
Talk about your background now. Let's go back to Dublin, Ireland, and start getting looks from American schools. What was it about this Memphis program that brought you here?
Well, my recruiting was quite unique. I didn't really know anything about college athletics. There's always a few, like the best Irish tennis players tend to do come over to the States, all right. But I never applied anywhere. Once I graduated school, I took a year out because I was able to, because I wasn't 21 and I had a year from I finished. So took a year out and I trained in Belgium at the Justine Henin camp. That was a fantastic experience. Got to train with like elite players, elite training, which is just tremendous. And then traveled professionally doing some of these tournaments, some of the futures, kind of the low professional tennis. And got a couple emails from Memphis, and with the Irish assistant coach, they took me over on a recruiting trip, myself and my dad, and just saw the racket club in its element during the week of the ATP 500. So it was hard to resist not coming here.
Tell me about tennis in Ireland, because you were an outstanding player, number 9 in singles, 13 in doubles in Ireland. You were all-Ireland champion in your age group.
Yeah, I mean, we do, at the top level we do. Like guys my age group and above, they've come. We got a guy playing number 1 for Stanford right now, a good pal of mine, John Morrissey. Niall Fitzgerald, who played 4 years at Notre Dame, was the captain. He's now the assistant coach for Tulane. Currently we got Mark Botel, who's in LSU. So there's always been a good contingency of players that have come across. But as of right now, Irish tennis is struggling a little bit. I mean, definitely we don't have the development and the facilities that we have over here, with like indoor courts and the weather. We've got kind of AstroTurf courts, which it's tough. It's great for the rain, which we get a little bit of over there, but it's for your tennis game. It's tough to develop on.
Interesting note here, and this goes back to the age, I guess, would be an American middle school or a junior high school.
Yeah.
You were a standout soccer player, and
yeah.
you just weren't being looked at by prep schools or high schools. Manchester United, and everyone knows that name, is actually looking at you to potentially play football.
Yeah, it was gas. We won our 2 leagues, like the cup and then the league, as a team. We were called Broadford Rovers, was the name of the team. And we went on to kind of like the Champions League, which is what we thought was in our eyes, So that was held in Holland. It was in The Hague. It's called the Gesselt Cup. And we won that, and from that we just got a lot of recognition. And we had one standout player who's actually playing professionally right now, and he's a good pal of mine, Ian Daly. And he kind of drew, so we got scouted, and they trained us all. About 4 scouts came over, and they trained us for like 4 or 5 days. So it was just a tremendous experience, to see all these guys, come out. So it was great, yeah.
Wrapping it up, we started off talking about this facility here at the Racket Club, and your goal is to get back to the NCAA. You guys are going to host the conference championships this year. Talk about just your thoughts with that coming up. It's great to get to the championships. It's even greater to be able to host it.
Yeah, it's that bit sweeter. My own mum and dad are coming over for the tournament, so they get in like the day before. So that's going to be sweet for me. So hopefully I can, lift the conference championship in front of them, which would be great. But just going to be huge to draw big crowds. To play these. Tulsa are typically a top 20 school, and it's constantly tough to go to their home ground and to try and win against them. So hopefully this time we'll have one up on them, have the crowd behind us, and hopefully lift the Conference USA title.
Sounds good, David. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Remember, you can catch the full David O'Hare interview on the YouTube page. Just search Memphis Tiger Network, and don't forget to subscribe. You can also keep up to date with all the Tiger athletic news by liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, and of course, go to GoTigersGo.com for all the official information. For another edition of Overtime, I'm Jeff Brightwell.